Okay, guys, so you guys just finished the Boyles Law lab, and what you probably found out was that P1 times V1 always equaled the same amount, approximately 514. Well, P2 times V2 also equaled 514, approximately, so on and so forth. So there's that law in, I don't remember what it is in math, but if two things are equal to the same quantity, then those two things are equal. So now we have a formula. P1 V1 equals P2 V2. When would this be used? Well, if you have a gas that the pressure is changing, so it starts out, 1 is the value that it starts with, and it changes somehow. And 2 is the value that it ends with. Okay, so let's say we have this problem right here. So we've got a gas that starts off with a pressure of 1.5 atm, and the volume of 20 liters, and the pressure changes to 700 mmHg, so 700 millimeters of mercury. And so what we're trying to find is what is the resulting volume. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up a table like this, and you guys will have this something similar on your worksheet. So pressure and volume. Okay, and then we basically just fill in the table. So pressure 1 is 1.5 atm, and pressure 2 is 700 millimeters of mercury. Now, when you do these problems, you have to make sure that the pressure units are the same and or the volume units are the same. So whatever your pressure units start with, your pressure units have to end with. If you're given 2 volume, whatever your volume units start with, your volume units have to end with that. So they might start with volume in liters, and then ask you what is the changing volume if it results in milliliters. So you got to make sure you change that. So here's what we're going to do. We need to convert 700 millimeters of mercury to atm, or you convert the 1 atm to 700 millimeters of mercury. Either way. So our conversion is 760 millimeters of mercury, and you guys practice this over the weekend, equals 1 atm. So there's our conversion, and that comes out to be 0.91 atm. Okay, so that's going to go right here, and then plug in our 20 liters. You don't have to set up the table, okay, like I did here. You don't have to set this table up, but it's useful because then you can make sure that your units are the same. Okay, and if not, you can make sure that you convert them in the proper units. So there we go. So let's use our formula. P1 V1 equals P2 V2. So we'll start plugging our values in. 1.5 atm. So there's P1 times V1, which is 20 liters, equals 0.9 atm times V2. Okay, so how do we isolate V2? Simple, just divide both sides by 0.9 atm. Units and values will cancel out. Okay, atm cancels out, and notice what you're left with, the units. You're left with the units of liters. Okay, so 1.5 times 20 divided by 0.9 gives you V2 equals 33.3. And what are the units? Well, whatever units you're left with, liters. Okay, and that's our final answer. All right, so you guys We'll do Boyles Law in action. It's the next page in your homework packet, and you only have to do the even numbers. Okay, good luck, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.